I'll tell my story. I'll tell my story. Settle in. All right. I'm gonna take out my headphones so I can concentrate on the story. So, I've been playing VGC since 2011, right? So that's a hot minute. Like, I've been playing competitive Pokemon, going to tournaments all around the country. I was already what you would consider a professional around that time because I'm a lot older than everyone. Like, so I've been playing VGC. I've been playing Pokemon for a super long time. VGC doesn't get enough reputation or love, I'll be honest. That's part of it. So anyways, in 2011, right, VGC was very small, very, very grassroots. And, you know, they had like our world championships, we had our regionals, but like that wasn't something, they didn't give the cash money prizes. You could win like scholarships, you could win like cards. You pretty much just went to the events to have fun and see your friends. And so starting, and that was still back when it was like Gen 5, and then go like 2012, 2013, 2014, VGC 2014 was when they actually ported it over to the Nintendo 3DS. And that was with the release of Gen like 6, right? So X and Y. And that's when, like, VGC... Oh, Mike, how's it going, friend? We're telling a story right now of how... The reason why VGC is dying. So in 2014, we had X and Y. And that's when VGC got mainstream success. That's when, like, Pokemon really noticed that, like, wow, there's, like, a lot of people that want to do this competitive thing. And so regionals were kind of, like, pumped up by Pokemon. Pokemon started, like, showing them off a lot more. That's when you started seeing a lot more streams. Before that... Like, regionals didn't get streamed, guys. Like, there aren't, like, 2013 regionals or 2011 regionals streams. So, like, 2014 was when regionals started to get, like, some, you know, mainstream broadcast ability, right? And that's when, like, most people started playing. Show of hands. Who heard of VGC before 2014? Like, you started hearing, like, that's the year that Seijun Park won with Pachirisu. That's probably what got a lot of you guys into playing, is the 2014 format. Alright, VGC also gets zero support and backing by TPCI. I will address that right now. Many esports teams have said they would support VGC and VGC player-based teams if Pokemon made it worthwhile to do so. They don't. You always get your real name, but Pokemon doesn't show team sponsors because they can't control that. Actually, yeah, if you go to a tournament and you have, like, a jersey on, Pokemon will make you take it off. If you look at some of the streams I've been on the official streams, they've made me take off my shirt and put on one of those Play Pokemon team shirts. So, like, you're not allowed to do those things. But, let's see. So, about VGC getting zero support. So, in 2014, regionals were still supported by TPCI. So, in 2014, because it was not, like, cash money to people yet, you still got, like, those scholarships, you still got, like, CP, and you still kind of just played for fun, but now a lot bigger audience was able to see it. And, the way it worked was back in the day, Pokemon used to, like, pay for the venues, right? Pokemon used to pay for the venues. So, like, the Long Beach Convention Center would get booked by, like, Pokemon, and entry for regionals was free. It was, like, it was free. You could just go to the regional, and you'd bring all your friends. You'd have to pay for, like, parking, you know? Completely free in 2014. And that's why a lot of people really, like, liked it. That's why a lot of people think that those are the good days of Pokemon. Because, like, you know, 2011 to 2013, you know, you might get like 80 to 100 people per regional, and those people that go to those regionals are really good. Like, you don't even know that regionals exist in 2012, 2013, unless you're someone who's really, really good, or friends with someone who's really, really good, which in turn, if you practice with them, you will get really, really good. So in 2014, we started seeing regional numbers of like 500, 600, 700 people at these regionals, right? In 2014. In 2014, we started getting 500, 600, 700 people regionals, and like Pokemon, like the regionals had to turn people away. Like, we're hit our entry cap. Like, we don't have enough room in this building, right? And so that was all throughout 2014. 2014 was great. Fun format. A lot of people started playing. It's a shame, really, they pushed marketing for esports to be so much more interest. Pokemon's not going to do that. Even if they don't have a competitive spirit, they're not going to do that. So, anyways, 2014 was great. Great for the scene. 2015, they started something different in 2015. In 2015, they started something where you get money, cash money, when you top cut an event. And so that's the start. They took all these big player base. We have a huge influx of casual people and people that were brought on by their friends going to events because it was free. And in 2015, they changed it to where Pokemon was no longer paying for the venues. The venues themselves had to be booked by the tournament organizers. And so the tournament organizers, instead of it being free, started charging like 30, 40 bucks to enter this regional. And so right away, if you make it 40 bucks, no one's going to enter. And so what Pokemon did, instead of paying for the venue, they decided to start paying like cash money out to the top cut. And so that made it so all the casuals were like, well, it's not free. Like, I can't win. Why am I going to play? And then like compiling with like other YouTubers saying like, everyone's just a hacker. So we lost like, we went from those 600-700 regional entries to about 200 or 300 people per regional in 2015. Still a great year. Still much better than 2-3 years before, but it's like it's like 50% than it was just the year before. It's a worrying trend. And then in 2016, VGC 2016, that's that first real Ubers format, the 2019 format, where you can use like Xerneas, Rayquaza, Primals. And also the venue prices continue to raise. So it was like $30, $40 in 2015. You know, it goes up to like $50 in 2016. Like, that's just that. Like, I don't blame people for not wanting to play for venue fight fees. I get that. The thing about it is, though, this is what I always thought. If you're traveling all around the country to like play in tournaments, right? If you're traveling all around the country to play in these tournaments, right? And you got to pay for like your airfare, your travel, your hotel. Why do you care if something's $30 to enter? That's something I never got. If you're someone who it's coming to your town and you don't want to enter because it's $30, that's totally fine. But if like if you're someone that lives in California and you're not going to go to Texas just because like a regional is $30, like, but you would go if it was free, that blows my mind. I don't understand that reasoning. But so we're still talking. We're in 2016. This is the first year that it is a bad format. 2014, people like that format, new Pokemon. 2015, new Megas, like things are getting better. They like it. 2016, it's all Ubers. No one wants to play with Ubers. No one wanted to do that. Nobody. There's not a single person that wanted to do that. And 2016 also was the last year. No, 2015 was the last year that they had best finish limits. I don't know if you guys know what best finish limits are, but best finish limits were a thing where you could only, so your Worlds invite was based off of how many, you could only get points from up to 3 regionals and 1 national per season. So you could go to every regional, but only your top 3 would count. And you could go to every national, only 1 would count. So that means people only had to go to a few of them, right? You only went to like, you planned your season like, oh, I'm going to go to like 3 or 4 regionals, and that's my season. And so when I'm ending that, what you start to see is players that have the money, players that are the toxic members of the community, make themselves more known. Because instead of those players being locked to only 3 regionals, they get to go to every regional and spread their toxicity and their elitism all over across the scene. So, like I said, we had 700-person regionals in 2014. We had 300-person regionals in 2015. We're getting like 100-person, 150-person regionals in 2016. And by the end of 2016, it's almost dipping under 100, right? Because it's a bad format. The prices have gone up 1,000% to enter regionals. The community is now saturated with toxic players. All the casuals are gone. And VGC is on its last legs in 2016. VGC is pretty much dead. In my opinion, I made content that whole year. I made a video almost every single day for that whole year. It was terrible. I don't know how I did it. Worst format ever, 2016. So, you go into 2017. That's Ultra Sun and Moon, Gen 7. You think like, man, we're going to hit those VGC 2014 numbers again, all these new players. But for the past 2 or 3 years, all these new players that will be interested have been spun negatively through people on YouTube, been spun negatively through like all these people complaining and spreading their toxicity. The toxicity is seeped in so well that when people think of competitive Pokemon, there's a toxic thing that goes along with it. So when all these people want to go to regionals, they're like, yeah, I'll go to this regional. It's like $50, $60. They're like, I don't really want to, but maybe they'll give it one shot. And so in 2017, we see a huge influx of people again. We're starting getting those 300-person regionals again. It looks like we're back to normal, right? Back to those 2015 numbers. And 2017 was a good format. We had good numbers the whole season. World Championships was fun. 2017 was a great format. But then 2018 was, 2018, all those new players that gave it a shot, gave it a good old college try, they were like, fuck this. Like, I thought this was going to be so much more fun than it is. Everyone's just super elitism. All these players at these regionals, they monopolize everything and spin it to where they get all the top cut spots because that's where the money is. And then in 2018, 2017, they started doing this thing with stipends, right? So when you are top 8 and top 16 for your relative country in your age division, you get to travel all over the world to go to all the internets for free. So what players did was they monopolized these top 8 spots. And if anyone ever kind of threatened them or like beat their friends out of tournaments or like decided to be fun and innovative, they would get really harshly like gang piled by the rest of the community. And so people want to monopolize these cash money spots, and it just led to even more elitism and more toxicity, in my opinion. And that's pretty much leading all of 2018. 2018 was a slow decline from 2017. We almost got down to those mid, like, 150 person regionals. That was about standard for 2018. Some regionals we even went under 100. And then now 2019, they announced another garbage format with Ubers that people just don't like. It's fun for the first like 2 or 3 regionals. I'll give it that. It's fun. It's something new. But Uber formats, these restricted mons formats, are not a great way for Pokemon to be competitive because it really creates a one-dimensional play style. You can do one thing and it creates a 50-50 as if they're going to do that one-dimensional play style, or you're going to expect them to do that and they're not going to do it. And the thing about it is, if in other formats you could have all 6 of your Pokemon, they could have a bunch of different ways to be used. In Uber formats, you have your 2 Ubers and you play Protect the Uber comp. And you either play Protect the Uber comp or you make a team that looks like it says, I'm going to play Protect the Uber comp, and then you don't play Protect the Ubers, but your opponent expects you to. So they have to respect that you're going to play Protect the Uber comp, and if they don't, they just lose. And that is not inherently competitive. And when I say that, I'm saying that as a general level. If we're going to watch this year's World Championships, we will see very competitive Pokemon. We will see very high-level gameplay, and it's going to be amazing. Those are the top 1% of players that know how to take anything and make it competitive. But as a general level, as a noob looking in, they're just going to see Mewtwo's and Xerneas's and Rayquazas and Primal Ultra Mega Rayquazas, and they're going to be like, I don't want to do that. And that's completely fair for them to think about it like that. That's completely fair for new players to look at that and be like, that's not something I want to do. And it's expensive, and like all these players are super rude and mean. Why would anyone want to do that? So that's the long answer to why VGC's on a decline. It's not the Pokemon Company botching it. It's the community. It's the community putting a negative spin on pretty much anything regarding VGC. And anytime anything good could be said about VGC, it's overshadowed by the people that want to keep it all in the family. The VGC players, ever since they released the best finish limit to be everything, VGC players have kind of said, like, this is mine. You can't have any of it. You can come and you can, like, contribute to my pot bonus, but it's mine. And that's what separates VGC from Smash Brothers. If you look at the top pro players in Smash Brothers, they don't care if new players want to play. Like, Mango does not care who plays Smash Brothers because he's playing Smash Brothers. He doesn't actively detract people from playing Smash Brothers. Same thing goes for like Zero and Allied, all those other Smash Brothers plays. They don't decontribute people from playing Smash. If anything, they make content that like helps people play. A lot of the top Pokemon players do not make content. There's no reason for players to go to regionals to see their favorite content creators because the people don't even go to regionals. Case in point, Zhang has no CP this season. He's the biggest content creator. James Beck goes to regionals. He's a great guy. He's our best content creator in my opinion. Most wholesome, great guy. I went to 3 regionals this season, and I played TCG at 2 of them. And I'm one of the bigger content creators of VGC. You know? Yeah, more people, like, the content creators want people to go to the regionals. If anything, at VGC, content creators are like, they know all my strats. Don't go to regionals. Regionals suck. Don't go to regionals. They don't want to lose to people that know their strats. Pokemon content is different from Smash. In Smash, you can outplay people. In VGC, it's an information game where you want to keep everything in. You don't want to give everyone all the ideas. Like, I'm doing the same thing. When I go to regionals, like, anyone that saw my regionals team, it was similar to what I'd been practicing with, but I put like 8 spins on it at regionals in case I fought someone that watched my content, which happened in the PC, and I won a game because they're like, oh, I thought that you used this move. I watched your videos, and I changed it, you know? So the thing is, the content creators aren't doing a good job of getting people to go to the events. A lot of times they'll be like, here's my regional review. And you look at all their comments, they're like, I didn't even know there was a regional. I lived in that town. And so that's kind of the reason why like VGC is not that big. And I'm not saying anything bad about any of our content creators. They're not required to make content to get people to go to regionals. But they could. I've heard Zhang openly talk about this. Like, we need more content creators to help promote him. And he does. He does a really good job of promoting them. Wolf, see, like, it's a perfect example of like what Wolf did. Wolf recorded all that content, and then he top cut a regional and released all the content. It's like, this is how you top cut a regional. And it's like how to prepare for a regional. Wolf did all that. He could have done that before and gotten people hyped for the regional instead of top cutting it and saying like, look at me, I'm so good. This is what you need to do to be as good as me. You know how many people would have went if they knew like he was going and he was preparing? That's the exact like mentality VGC has. And that's why it's shit.